Hello and welcome to GullyTalk that brings to you all the action from IPL 2026. In this episode, let's talk about those teams that did not make it to the playoffs. In fact, some of these teams were just one or two wins away from making it to the top four. Joining me today is young cricketer Mihier from the Delhi circuit who's been actively playing competitive cricket, and he brings to us a fresh player's perspective to the game. So there you go. Here is the young cricketer, Mihier Doi Ganesh. Thank you so much for taking the time, Mihier, for
Thank you for
joining
having
us.
Thank you for having me.
So as you know, today we're going to be talking about those teams who have been, some who of course probably lagged intent, some who were probably unlucky, and some like Punjab who probably came so close to making it to the playoffs. So let's
Yes.
take some time off and talk about these teams. Which team surprised you the most by missing out from the playoffs?
That actually surprised me the most was Mumbai Indians because if you look at their lineup and their squad, in
Mhm.
terms of batting, they've got really deep batting. Their opening partnership is Ryan Rickelton and Rohit Sharma. Ryan Rickelton for South Africa has been phenomenal. And
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma, I don't think even need to explain as to why he's one of the best in the world. And then you got Hardik. Their whole team is so well balanced. You got Surya Kumar. He's the Indian team captain. So
Yeah.
the balance of the team is so good that you would think that they would be somewhere, in the playing field, in the top four, top three, maybe even top two. I had them in my top two before the season. So they were the ones who surprised me the most.
Yeah, I guess every IPL enthusiast probably had them in their top four this year.
Definitely,
Uh,
because on the scorecard and on the sheet playing 11, they are really good.
so, what do you think happened there? Is it a question of bad tactics or just some players turning up tired? Uh,
I I don't think it's bad tactics. I just
hmm,
think that it just wasn't their season because if you look towards their team, Bumrah he has the lowest average for a bowler in IPL history this season. They just couldn't bring the team together. They had
hmm,
an amazing coach in Mahela Jayawardene. They had
right.
Hardik Pandya. He's led Gujarat to two consecutive finals. You've got
Hmm,
Rohit Sharma, who's a natural leader.
hmm,
So there's no particular reason as to why they haven't done well. It's just wasn't connecting. They won't be able to connect the dots. In one game, one player was you. The team can't go on one player. Like in one game, Quinton de Kock hit 100, but the
hmm,
lower order collapsed. In one
hmm.
match, the batsman scored, but the bowlers weren't able to defend. So it's one thing goes right and another thing goes wrong. They weren't firing on all cylinders.
So,
Sure.
you were talking about Mumbai, that Mumbai did not turn up. On the other hand, there's somebody like Punjab Kings who more than turned up. Won seven matches, six out of their seven. The only team which remained undefeated. Where do you think they lost their momentum?
I think it was we could see gaps in their armor from the start of the season in terms of their
Hmm,
fielding. And
hmm,
I felt that it was just a matter of time before that caught up to them. Because I'm even in the Delhi game where they conceded 267, KL
right,
Rahul was dropped, I think, on 5 or 4 by
right.
Shashank Singh.
Hmm,
And
hmm,
not just Shashank Singh, many others. Overall, the team in the field and in bowling particularly, they were lacking. And towards
hmm,
the end of the season, when the batsmen they got a little tired, for example, Priyansh Charya, who's a phenomenal player, as
right.
the batting started falling, the other areas didn't make up for that.
Hmm,
That's
hmm,
where I think they missed
yeah.
out.
So, Mihir, from a player point of view, when a team loses momentum, can they really recover?
They definitely can, but it's tough because
Hmm,
once, like Punjab, they were winning 7 games. It took one game and they lost six in a row and they are
right.
knocked out. It's
Yeah.
it's about the mentality, and they're not short of it as well. They've got Shreyas Iyer,
Hmm, hmm,
they've got Vicky Ponting. I mean, you can't have anybody better than that. It's just
hmm,
that once the whole team they start losing one game, they start losing another game,
hmm,
your self confidence starts going down, and then it's
hmm,
difficult. It's not impossible, but it's
hmm,
difficult as a
hmm, hmm.
player continuing to lose, continuing to underperform, and then not
Hmm.
finding the right combinations. That's where it becomes difficult.
I think we've had teams in the past wherein they probably didn't have a good start, but then peaked later in the season to win the title. Uh,
Definitely, that's what it's not about starting amazingly. It's about finishing with a bang.
I, for one, in my initial episodes, had always said that Delhi is one team which can surprise many. Along
Yes,
with Gujarat and RCB, they're one of the strongest bowling lineup. When you have
yes,
someone like Aksar and Kuldeep who bowl regularly for India, part of World Cup winning squads. There's Mitchell Stark in the ranks. There's Natarajan, who's always
there's Loki
good
and
with the.
KD. Sorry to
There's
interrupt you, but Loki
Ngidi.
and
Yeah, I know Angidi who's having such a fabulous
yes,
season.
yes.
What do you think went wrong with their campaign?
It was a Punjab game because before that they were
Mm.
looking like a team who were going to make it, and I
Mm.
had them in my top four too because they've
Right.
got KL Rahul,
Mm.
they've got Nistanka, who's a lovely batsman,
Mm-hmm.
they've got Tristan Stubbs. They were a well balanced team in terms of bowling. And Giri is an awesome bowler. He can swing the ball, he can bowl the off cut and the leg cutter. He uses it a lot. But
Mm.
it's that Punjab game after making 267, and it gets
Yeah.
chased down, and that two
Yeah.
six balls before the game finishes. It kind of it breaks your season. It's
Yeah.
difficult to recover, and they did not recover from that
And I think it was also that other match which came very close where Miller refused to take the single.
against Gujarat. Correct.
Yeah, you think of those two matches and they would just be in the playoffs in place of Rajasthan now.
Definitely, it was such a close season. It was a matter of two games, and even the
Right.
game against Punjab, it was unfortunate because Ngidi got injured,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and then it kind of upset the balance of their team as well.
But the one other thing that I want to talk about Delhi is that apart from these games which were so close and they lost, is a lot of the it was also their own doing, don't you think?
I def-
Abhishek Porel had a good season last time. They did not start with him. They gave him matches towards the end. They did not have Miller for a few matches. They had Ashutosh not in the playing 11, just as an impact player.
yes,
There was,
I think
I think, Karun Nair who played probably a
yeah,
match or two. A lot of chop
yes,
and change. Samir Rizvi didn't get a complete run. Uh,
yes.
how do you analyze those decisions?
As a player, if you tell me that you have 5 games or 4 games that you are going to play, no
Hmm.
matter what you do, even if you get out on zero, that player will perform.
Right.
Maybe not in the first game, maybe not in the second game, but in the third game for sure. Now, Delhi didn't do that. Samir Rizvi was batting beautifully in the first few
Hmm.
games.
Hmm.
He dropped off a little, but as soon as one player started to falter here and there, they
Hmm.
changed up the team. They didn't
Right.
start with the team that this is my best team and I'm going
Hmm.
to play them. They didn't do
Hmm.
that, which I think was a big fault in their management.
So, do teams take almost 5 to 6 games to figure their final combination, or was that the case with DC this year?
I actually do think that it does take them not 5 to 6. It depends from team to team. The
Hmm.
team that gets it right at the start of the season, like RCB, they got
Right.
it right. They were firing on all cylinders throughout the season.
Hmm.
But it's not necessary that you need to get it right at the start of the
Right.
season. It's 14 games. That's 28 points. At the end of the
Right.
season, the first position person, the team is 18 points. You
Right.
can afford to misfire in the first 4 to 5 games, and I
Hmm.
think
Hmm.
that's all it takes. After that, they can't afford mistakes. And I
Right.
think Delhi, this even in the final game, I don't think they still had it right with what they had
Right.
to do.
Yeah, I hear you when you say that it's so important for a franchisee to back a player.
Yes,
Something which again, when we can talk about KKR, they had played Finn Allen, and then after 3 or 4 or maybe 5 games, shifted gear, and again went back to Finn Allen, who really gave them the good runs right at the top,
yes.
right?
Like we know who Finn Allen is, right? The
Yeah,
performance against South Africa in the T20 World Cup. On
yeah,
just that one performance, you have to back the player. Like this
right.
is the thing the Chennai Super Kings do.
Yes.
Even though they've lost this season, but they have the success behind them to prove it. They
Mm.
back players, and that leads to them developing, like Karthik, for example, or Will Patel. So that's
Mm.
what, for
Mm.
example, KKR or Delhi should have done throughout the season.
Okay. Which of these teams would you have liked to see in the playoffs?
Because it's my personal bias, I would say Chennai Super Kings because they are my favorite team since childhood. But putting that aside, I would have said Punjab. The way they were playing and the mentality that they brought to the game. When they conceded 267, not
Mm.
for a second did we see that they've conceded defeat. From the
Mm.
first ball, they came out thinking we are going to win the game, and I think that type of mentality does deserve some reward.
Right. I think one of the things which happened with Punjab is, I think what you said earlier also, is that batting clicked, whereas there were always holes in their bowling and fielding. So when
Yes,
their batting went down, all their weaknesses kind of got exposed.
yes.
Do you think teams realize their mistakes too late?
I don't think they realize their mistakes too late. I think they know. After the
They,
first few games, they know that we are lagging here. But it's so difficult to, rectify those errors. Like, for
hmm,
example, in a football season, it's a really long season. You can work
right,
on it. But the IPL, it's so competitive. It's in a span of 2 months. Every
right.
2 days or every second day, you have a game. It's really difficult to fix them in those 2 days because one day goes to recovery. And then you
Hmm,
only basically have one or max to max 2 days most
hmm,
of the
hmm.
time to get into the groove or get a coordinated team. It's difficult to fix those errors.
So you're caught in that cycle. That's
Yes.
essentially what you're
I'm
saying.
sure after the first 2 games, they know that this is where we are struggling and we need to fix this, but it's just difficult to fix it.
Right. But from my point of view, I think KKR were, of course, a little unlucky. They went into the season with multiple injuries. Uh,
Yes.
but I think once they had taken stock of the situation, they could have done better. I know someone like Ajinkya Rahane is receiving a lot of flack in the news, but I would really say that I think he did a decent job, fair job with the resources that he had, given that Cam Green was not even, allowed to bowl at the start of the season.
Personally, I really like Ajinkya Rahane and his captaincy. I think he was just limited at the start of the season.
So, from a player point of view, Mihir, when a team is on a losing streak, what is the atmosphere in the dressing room?
Every team, I
Okay,
think they keep it normal. They don't change, they keep the core elements the same. They don't change a lot of the things they do. They keep it
okay,
the same. They just try to fix the errors going forward. That's all you can do at such a high level of cricket. They
okay.
know what they have to do. The coaches can only guide the players, in my
So
opinion.
it's not like all of us, the outsiders, imagine that there's a great deal of drama or
No,
anything
not
like
at
that.
all. Not at all. Not at all. It's really calm and composed. And the team meetings will also be only 5 to 10 minutes, honestly. Not more than
Yeah.
that. They'll just keep it brief, keep it simple, and then they go on to do their own respective jobs.
That's good to know. So you just focus on the game and take it by the game and take
By
it
the
as it
game.
comes. Hmm.
Correct. There's not a lot of overthinking.
What separates those teams which have made it to the playoffs from those that have not made it?
It's learning from your mistakes and applying those learnings, fixing
Hmm.
those errors. Like many teams like Chennai, they were learning, they were struggling in the middle overs, they were fixing those small errors and they were doing better.
Hmm.
RCB, they were also learning. Their bowling was always awesome. Their batting was also good. Just
Hmm.
small mistakes like the feel, and they were just fixing it and becoming better as they move forward. That's the difference that separates the teams that finish in the top four and in the bottom. Yes,
Talking about CSK, I mean, now that you bring it up, I just would like us to touch upon the campaign of CSK. Again, CSK also made their mistakes. They did not start the season with Urvil Patel. He came in a
they
little later into the season. I think
did
only
not.
when
Yeah.
Matre had that injury. So,
Injury,
what
yeah,
do you think
hampering.
of CSK's campaign?
I think it was a decent campaign. They could
Mm-hmm.
have done a lot better with the team they had. I think they had a great team as well. But I think in the middle overs, their approach wasn't good. They used to be too passive. They wouldn't take on the game. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it was Ruturaj's approach. He
Mm-hmm.
wasn't playing like he normally does. He wasn't taking on the bowlers. And I think being a captain, the pressure comes along with that. And I think that was affecting him slightly and in previous seasons as well.
Between CSK, KKR, Delhi, and Punjab, of course, who do you think made the best of this season in terms of looking forward for the 2027 season?
In that, I would say it's Chennai because
Hmm.
they, from last season, they learned a lot and they fixed a lot of things. And in the previous season, they brought in a lot of youngsters, which is not very normal for CSK.
Hmm. Hmm.
Using youngsters like Karthik, Urvil Patel, Ayush Matre, and Brevis, they fine tuned their team in terms
Hmm.
of bowling and in terms of batting, especially where they were lacking a lot last season. They fixed those, and I think in the next season, we will see that paying dividends.
Awesome. So
Yes.
that brings us to the end of this episode. I know all the fans of CSK, KKR, Punjab, and all the other teams which did not make it are quite disappointed, but we are into the final week of IPL. So lots of exciting cricket coming up. So be there, cheer for your team. If your team is not there, then I guess cheer for the best cricket that you will get to witness in the next 1 week. Mihir, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I'm sure we'll be connecting for more during this IPL and later on too. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Mihir.